Well, they've done it again at a bantamweight main event in a fight night in front of a crowd as well. Marlon Chito Vera is back and he's facing Cory Sandhagen. In any other timeline, this is a number one contenders fight, but poor Chito, he's going to have to kill 30 men like Bilal Muhammad to get a title shot.
Despite being a very exciting finisher, unlike Bilal Muhammad.
Crushes people. He crushes people. He's honestly, Marlon Vera is just vicious. That's always the word. Actually, he's just a vicious, vicious man. And I worry this is where it's going to fall apart against Sandhagen, because I just think Sandhagen is so well-rounded that I think Chito Vera maybe isn't in his mindset, but if he gets into clinch positions, he should be going for takedowns. He should be getting takedowns from there and trying to work Sandhagen down to the mat.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Sandhagen, we've only seen him really struggle against Aljamain Sterling, of course, in their fight where Sterling took the back and wrapped up a rear naked choke. That's a theme you'll see again and again from Aljamain Sterling. And finished Sandhagen in the first round. And then, of course, he was outstruck by Petr Yan, my blessed sweet boy. So sad about it still, Joe. We didn't get a chance to discuss that, but I'm sure we will. That fight with Merab. We haven't really seen him struggle with slower, plodding strikers, and that's kind of where I'm putting Vera when I contrast his style with Sandhagen. Yeah,
he's very low output, but he's high damage. Like if you watch the Rob Font fight, where Font like outstruck him by like 100 strikes, but he didn't win a single round. Like it was like Vera just, he touched him and Font would go flying.
And what makes you think that he can't do the same to Sandhagen?
I just think Sandhagen's a much slicker striker. He's just not so reliant on the jab like Font is. Like the thing is that like if your main weapon or your main starting point is the jab, like you can get found out with that, because it's like you throw the jab and it's just like your next option is either a straight or an uppercut or a sort of lead leg high kick from there. Like and Font's not really that sort of striker. He doesn't throw that sort of output. Whereas Vera is more singular strikes that are a bit more random. Although they are sort of well thought out, like Dominic Cruz one, where that head kick knockout he went for earlier in the fight, but he went at the wrong angle. So instead of him coming up with the left high kick, he went with the right, and Cruz circled off. He switched it the other way around, and it was still single shot, but he landed it that time. That's the thing, that Vera will still make those adjustments, but it's still single strikes at a time, whereas Sandhagen will throw 3-4 shots in a row. However, that can open up those possibilities for Vera, and Vera, I think, can rock him. It's just, can he get those reads on Sandhagen, on a guy who's a bit more mobile than Dom Cruz is, and is a bit more, has got a bit more variety than Cruz, and actually has finishing power.
Yeah, I mean, I'm something of a Marlon Vera truther, Joe. It's hard to maintain this position when he finished people in such spectacular fashion, like the front kick to Frankie Edgar, and of course that recent head kick over Dom Cruz. I don't have him in the same category as Cory Sandhagen. He did lose to a high-volume striker in Song Yadong. Close fight though it was. Sandhagen, many tiers above that for me. Of course, in his own last fight against Song Yadong, confirmed that eventually with a doctor stoppage back in September. I think Sandhagen will absolutely overwhelm Marlon Vera.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a comprehensive win in my mind. I'm putting it all out there.
I've got a decision win for Sandhagen, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think Vera is going to cause him problems. I think it could be the case, could be, 3 rounds to 2. Vera is sort of winning the later rounds, but man, Sandhagen it's one of those rare guys where he has high output, but it gets higher. Like, it's quite something. It's just a bit sad, isn't it, that we know that these two guys aren't going to be fighting for a title this year, though, when the winner probably should.
Do you feel that way, Joe? I'm not sure. After a loss to Petr Yan and to Aljamain Sterling, I'm not sure if Sandhagen's quite there. Vera, with a big win here, for me, would get close to undeniable.
More so than Sean O'Malley and Merab?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what,
Can we talk
win?
about Merab?
Yeah, sure. We've gone over an hour anyway. Let's keep going.
Joe, we're getting into it. We're talking bantamweight. What can we can't just end midway.
No. Go on.
Joe, I said it already. I'm sad, Joe. I'm really sad. What happened in that fight is illegal. And what I mean by illegal is it must have involved copious amounts of drugs. Copious amounts of EPO.
Yeah. I mean, he's a freak athlete anyway. Like, he's obviously got very good cardio, but like that's to that degree is insane. Like,
truly insane. I've never seen anything like it. I've really never seen anything like it.
Yeah, this is like you're watching the Tour de France. In 1998, Marco Pantani goes at the Tourmalet in 7 minutes. And you're like, holy shit, he's broken the record by 5 minutes. How did he do that? Marco Pantani died of a drug overdose 4 years later, but that maybe tells you something. Yeah, man, like, it's a very impressive win. I think the problem is that Yan is like a guy. Someone made this point. It's a very good point. I can't remember who made it, but Yan is like Robbie Lawler, in that he has his game plan, and his game plan is, I'll see what his game plan is, and then I'll work from there. But when the game plan is, I'm just going to overwhelm you with wrestling, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, kind of shows a bit of a flaw. I think Yan also, he might have been fucked up going into this fight. I think there was something up with him. There was just certain shots that were there that he wasn't able to land. I mean, I love the fight. Don't get me wrong. I think Jan's counters were excellent. But just the fact that he couldn't do anything with them, it was, it was quite something from Merab. But yeah, I mean, the fact is, no one's saying it out loud, but Merab is clearly on a lot of stuff to be getting that. Like, what happened to the guy that got, like, what was his first? He lost to Ricky Simone in his first fight, didn't he?
Yeah, make the rematch. Bring back Ricky. I need this. I need this fire to be extinguished.
You really hate Merab, don't you?
I really hate Merab. I'm out there. List me as a hater. I really do. I really do.
He lost to Frankie Saenz in his debut.
I did not enjoy this fight. I did not enjoy this. This is crazy. He neutralized Yan.
Yeah.
By taking a single leg and then working some strikes off of that.
11 takedowns is impressive, but Yan defended 37. Like, yeah. But you don't win points for defense and takedown defense. We're not in one. In one they do that, but here they don't. Yeah, there's something off about it, isn't it? There's just, I guess there's a lot of people that don't want to say that out loud, that Yan is clearly on the sauce.
Yeah, also.
No, sorry. Probably he's training somewhere. He's training in Tiger Muay Thai.
Accusations. Let's just tar them all in the mud.
I mean, I'm sorry, man. You're training out in Thailand. You're suspicious to me. You're very suspicious. No, it's true, man. It's true. Like, that's very suspicious. Can we also talk about suspicious or just ridiculousness? We've gone way over here. Darren Till's left the UFC, right? And he said in his interview, I've got to go off and get treatment that I can't get in the UFC. And I was just like, is he going to come back with legs like Crow Cop? Like, what's he going to look like?
Perhaps as absurd as Conor McGregor looks right now.
His head is weird, isn't it?
Joe, it's just mad. Just do that to the human body. But
do you remember? Do you remember when me and you went to the zoo that time, and there was that we went to the gorilla enclosure, and we were stood there just looking at this gorilla, and I remember I think I said to you, it was just like, God, I can see the link to Brock Lesnar. My God, I can see the fucking link to Conor McGregor now. Never mind Brock Lesnar. Christ Almighty.
Yeah, crazy physique. Expect to see a Darren Till like that coming to a light heavyweight division near you.